Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor program. In this video I'd like to show another great example of what I call my holy grail trade. This is actually unfolding right now on the 5-minute FTSE. So this is the FTSE on a 5-minute chart. So I'd like to go through the steps that I look for this holy grail trade and highlight the major parts. First we need to have identified a major high or low, an important swing high or low. So let's look at this one down here. Let's go to the advanced chart analysis, intermediate Elliott waves, choose swing high or low, click on the bottom there, and lo and behold, MTPredictor has identified the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the low right at the typical wave 5 WPT. So we nailed this low absolutely perfectly. From the trading course and my teachings, we know that typically after the completion of a 5-wave sequence, the area we then look to is the DP. Again, so we just click on choose swing high or low from DP from the prior swing 4, in this case the wave 4 high. So we have up here in our mind an initial target for any rally off this low. So you can see with the market bouncing around down here, we've got quite a lot of room before we get to this target. So let's see what unfolds. We then look for the initial rally, which is what we had here, off this low. Okay, so this is the initial rally. Now, after the initial rally, we then look for an initial correction, and we look for the correction to unfold as a 3-swing ABC. So there's wave A. It should go up to a wave B, which is there. It then should come down to a wave C, which is coming in here. Very often this wave C is identified as an automatic TS3 or TS4 setup, as we had here. So if I go back one bar, we had an initial trade here, but as we can see this was actually just stopped out, so this one would have been for a -1 hour loss, which is okay. But let's just take a minute and analyze this setup here. So if we put the automatic analysis on, it actually says that the target is only about here. However, this is where we make the adjustment for the TS, rather than having the standard TS4 targets, we make the adjustment for our holy grail. And for a holy grail, we're assuming this is a wave 2 low off a wave 1 rally off an important low. So rather than going to these initial targets, we're actually expecting or anticipating a strong wave 3 rally. So how do we get the target off here for wave 3? Well, we have our wave price targets on here. So let's go to wave 3 up, which is this one. We then click on the start of the sequence, which is here. The wave 1 high, which is here. We then come down and put it on the wave 2 low. And this is the target we're anticipating for the holy grail trade, not back down here. So as normal, we then assess the risk to reward. So we click 1, 2, 3. So at this typical wave 3 WPT target, the risk to reward would be 5 to 1. Now that's above our normal 2 to 1, so it represents a good trade. Notice also in this example how this typical wave 3 WPT is also in the area of the DP from the wave 4, which we had on the charts already. So that gives me extra confidence that a rally off this low is more than likely to get right up here rather than any initial targets. So let's see what's unfolded. I go forward to how the market's unfolding now, because this is unfolding in real time. These charts are actually live here, and you can see what the market did. Well, it rallied right up to our typical wave 3 WPT, right in the same area, and as you can see now it's backed off brilliantly. So as such, that represented the perfect place to take profits on our holy grail trade. If I just clear the chart off and you want to double check this, let's look at the major setups, choose swing high or low, come to this pivot here and have a look what the software's found. And as you can see, it's actually unfolded exactly as we anticipated, in that this was a major low, here was our wave 1, you can see that's our wave 1 rally, down into our TS4 buy setup, which is our wave 2. Then what unfolds next is a strong wave 3. You can see there's the wave 3 rally into typical wave 3 WPT. That's why the trade represents what I consider one of the best trades in the book, because you're looking to get in on the wave 2 correction into the wave 3 swing, which in Elliott wave terms is usually the strongest and longest of all the swings. So this Holy Grail setup represents one of the best trades for a big profit in relation to a small initial risk. So again, if I just clear the chart off and I highlight the points that I'm looking for, what we're looking for is an important high or low. This can either be the end of an Elliott wave sequence or DP support on a higher time frame, but basically we're looking for an important high or low. We're then looking for the initial rally off that high or low. That we consider to be a wave 1. We then look for the ABC correction, which we consider a wave 2. We then look for the wave 3 rally off that, which is exactly what we had, into the typical wave 3 WPT. That's where our target is. As a PS, because this is a wave 2 and the first correction on a new swing, this Holy Grail setup is usually against the STF, so we don't use the STF in that. And as you've seen, this usually represents a good trade where the profit is usually much greater than the initial risk. So for me, it represents one of the best trades in the book. That's why I've called it the Holy Grail, and that is why I look for this trade above and beyond anything else, and actually was the main reason MTPredictor was designed in the first place, to be able to identify these swings and be able to identify this particular trade setup for me. And as you can see, it's a real beauty.